Hi guys. Let's see what I got here. I need this and I need this. Okay. So this is Mark Teaches Music. I am Mark Black and welcome, and you're at my improv workshop. This is session number 31, which is pretty cool. And every time we improvise on two different kinds of songs with two different instruments. This is a maroon shirt. I don't think the camera does it justice. And two different styles, two different instruments. And today is the 25th day of April 2023. And I want you to have fun and be awesome. And I know you can do that. So we're trying to learn to get better at improvising, ad-libbing, and making stuff up. Now, I'm assuming everybody knows what that is, right? And the point is, when they go, the guy's going, he's doing a song, he's going, he's singing, da, 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 he's singing, taking care of this, and working all the time, work out. And the guy plays a solo. He's making that solo up. It was nothing. There did not exist. He made it up. Now, in the same sense, the melody itself, taking care of business, and the melody and the chords, those were originally improvised. Somebody made that up, did not have a blueprint, created it. And the difference between straight improvisation and writing a song is just that he would have said, taking care of business the first time, and then he said, hey, that doesn't sound very good, but that's a good line. How can I make that sound better? So he would have taken his original musical impression of what he did, and he would add to it to make it change it, And the same thing with classical music, there's absolutely no difference. Guy would have gone da 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 da. He would have said, well, that wasn't amazing, and he tries to figure out how to make it better. Da 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 da. So he eventually, came to the thing, Beethoven's Fifth. Okay, so for more information about lessons, go to www.dallasmusiclessons.com, and there's information there about lessons, discussions of how to get talk to someone about lessons, and if you have questions, my gosh, you need to put them in the chat. My favorite word, chat, right there. So we're not just ad-libbing, we're trying to get better. So I'll stop occasionally and say stuff to try to help us understand what we're doing now. And again, you need to ask questions. You need to say, I don't understand why this isn't working. You said so and so, or why does this guy sound great and I don't sound great? There's a bunch of different reasons, possible reasons, but the idea is so don't just sit there and like, oh, what this? Go ahead and email me if you're seeing this after the actual live stream. Email me and I'll help you. I shall will. And then if it's live, do it. Ask it now. So let's see. So if you got a request for a different style, I'd try to change and vary the styles and stuff. But I know I have favorite styles. I know, like I just love bossanovas. So and I love other stuff too, and country music and all kinds of stuff. So sometimes I suppose we do a little too much of. I don't know if it's too much or not. But anyway, if you have a style you want to hear, please say. I'd love to change and do things. And so, also different instruments. I'm trying to get the instruments, mixed up. I try every time to do a fretted instrument, and then the other instruments that I play. And so some things I might even try that I don't play. And and if you like this, you need to subscribe. You need to donate. You need to give me instruments and various maybe some of your children or something, or make them work and give me their income or something like that. Give me your income. And hit the bell, click the bell for notifications, and please share this and get other people to come. And so here's the ideas of what we're playing. So there's descriptions. In the description here, there's links for the chords and the scales, and that is the chords for the song as well as the scales that you would use when you're improvising. So don't just sit there and watch this video. I mean, you can if you're scared, but in general, the idea is just jump right in, including wrong notes. Oh my gosh, if I was making an album, I wouldn't do anything like I'm doing right now. That's what you're fixing to hear me, raw and, not totally unprepared, but, it's like I have not, sat and created these songs. I'm just doing stuff on the spur of the moment. So I got to jump in. I got to do that. You got to do it, and you discover what works and doesn't work. And you can play slow. Don't be afraid, though. But play or sing. If you're a vocalist, you're singing. You're improvising. So just as an example, I do want to do these kind of examples. If I was singing, here's the first song. Yeah. If I was singing, I was a vocalist, that's the kind of stuff I would do. My instrument would be my voice. And that's wonderful. And that would be your fills and things that you would do when you're singing a song in the middle of it. Not all that, not that 25 minutes of that, but that would be the idea. And so shoot your questions or comments, like I said, about I don't get why this isn't working. Don't be put off by styles you don't like. Too bad, so sad, sucker. You got to put your questions in there and say, your things in there and say, hey, I want to do, so if you don't like it, give me some suggestions for something you like better, and we'll put that in there. So, but then the idea is, if you don't like it, don't think it's cool, including the instrument I'm playing, then you think, well, how can you, in your little ad-libbing cell there, how can you make it sound awesome? What could you do to take this lame thing that I'm playing, or this lame track we're listening to, how could you make it awesome? Try to make it great. And playing with other instruments helps you learn new things to do. This is not right. There we go. And let's see. And so we do, when we're listening to a song, we're going to listen to this little song right now. And I'm going to put this picture with me up here. There it is, right there. Now, I would like for somebody to please tell me, is that big enough for you to see? I know you couldn't see that on a phone, but I'm trying to get it so you can see we're talking about the chord changes. And you're listening to the song, any song, and there's reasons to not do this, but in general, you'd like to absorb what's going on. Let's listen to this. It's in the key of C. Next chord, the E minor. There's the C, and E minor. There's the G sharp, there's F and G. A minor. It's the F and hold it out. Do the two beats, one. That gives us tension. There's the E minor, D minor, dog minor. Okay, let me pause that and say, at this point the song repeats. So we may do 16 bars like a piece, or we may do 8 bars a piece. But the point there is, there's not a note in this song that is not in the key of C, the C scale. So listen in the description, there's what patterns to play for a guitar or a bass, and where to put your fingers, and the patterns are printed out, So I'm just saying, if you have any problems with that, just look at the description and go to those links and get that stuff, because he wants you to play. And so your C instrument, you're playing the C scale. Your B flat instrument, you're playing the D scale. You're an E flat instrument. My gosh, who would that be? There's only two: the alto saxophone and the E flat euphonium. So if you're playing the E flat euphonium, buddy, you would be using the A scale. And then the notes are written out for the A scale. So here I go, and I'm going to be playing the harmonica. Now I said, I don't know if I've said it before. I'm not going to apologize. I'm making a lot of mistakes when I'm playing, but I'm not going to blame the instrument. However, I have two instruments that I will do that with, and one is the harmonica, and the other is the mandolin, which both of them I don't play very much, but I just love them so much that I just have to play them. So, all right, so we're going to start off, and I'm going to jump in here, and I'm foist. No, we're going to start at the beginning, which is a good place to start. Here we go. I'm starting. Oh, wait. Check it out, what I get to do, and you don't get to do. I get to do this. Wait. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I get to do that. You can't do it. Sorry, but pretty cool. I won't do it when I talk. Here I go. We go. I'll start first. C scale. Keep going, still in the key of C. Make it beautiful, make it yours. Make it something that's exciting, interesting. My turn. Going. There's the E minor. Now I'll take it. Keep going, the fast, F, E minor. You're just trying to hear, things are changing. Make it excellent, make it neat. Okay, I'll take the slow one. Get 8 minutes this time. My turn. My turn, and I'm going to talk in my turn. And so one thing I want you to notice, the timbre, which is the sound quality, the difference between a flute and a tuba and a harmonica playing the same. Why are they different? It's called timbre, tone quality. The timbre of this harmonica, of harmonicas, fits this song so stinking well that really you could just play one note. And I'm not talking, it's not about harmonica, it's just, it's like, you know, the music is kind of earthy and sincere, and you know, your grandpa's looking out over his his farm or out over the ranch and just kind of, yeah, me and my pappy taught me, and here's the harmonica. Like, yeah, my pappy played the harmonica. Hello. Wait, I'm going to get rid of that. Okay, so the point is the timbre of this instrument fits this very well. Now, whatever kind of songs you play, you will notice from time to time, no matter what instrument you're playing. Like if I was trying to play the Stars and Stripes Forever, which I suppose I'll pretend is, could I play that on the harmonica? I couldn't personally, but I'm saying a harmonica player could play it, but it wouldn't sound the same, wouldn't sound quite right, because all that earnestness and sincereness, and it's the reeds and wind instrument. And the same thing, your instrument has got things that, if there's all the kinds of music are here, your instrument has sounds that fit perfectly with it, and it has another set of sounds. I'm trying to move over, here we go. Another set of sounds, this is the hand. Okay, there you go. Another set of sounds that it doesn't fit perfectly with, but you could work and think, and how can I make this thing sound well in this? And actually, as folky as our song is, you can, almost any instrument would fit in this, but an organ would not, as an example. A harp would not. Harp might could, but I'm thinking of the high church organ could not fit in this, because they're kind of fighting the meaning, or the way, we play a trumpet sound, it has a certain sound. You can modulate it, you can affect it, and you can play differently with it to try to match, but then there's something about that sound, something about a saxophone sound, something about a flute sound. And so all I'm saying is just something to think about. So it's hard for me to play faster physically, but it's also hard for me to play faster because it just sounds so pretty. I just kind of want to hear it, and that's a good thing. I'm talking about something we can learn from. Here's your turn, and get ready. 1, 2, I'm pushing the button. Here's the D minor and the G. This is the 5th line. You're still going. Okay, take it. That's the fast part. my turn, and I stop it because I want to say a couple more things. Now, number one is stylistic things in our improv workshops. So I'll do different things that only can be done on that particular instrument. So here's the sound. You can only do that on a harmonica and a few other instruments. So when you hear something stylistic, if you like it, you may not be able to do it on your instrument. You need to do something that is stylistic, almost say idiosyncratic to your instrument. You know, like, hey, what can my instrument do? You know, do a lip slur or something. You know, do something that's you can't do you can do on your instrument, but you can't do other instruments. And so on a guitar, it might be slide, or it might be, you know, tapping or something. You really, seriously, like try to figure out, okay, I can't do that, but I can do these other things. Second thing, I just want to comment. Remember, I said that I have a caveat about this instrument. Like I don't know it well, so I want to comment. Like, you may feel this yourself. I am not sure, nearly as sure. I'm surprised all the time at what comes out. It's like, I know the notes of the C scale, so I'm playing notes of the C scale, but I'm not quite sure which one is going to come out. So a little bit of what I'm doing is experimental or experiential. Oh, that note came out. What would I follow that with? Which is what we normally like to do, is kind of be thinking, what would I like to hear? I'd like to hear this. Let me play that. And on this, it's like, what would I like to hear? And then that doesn't come out. And so you may feel that way, and that's okay, you know, because if we're staying in the scale of the part of the song, it's going to work out. So I'm going to take it, and here we go. And I'm just saying, it's okay that I don't quite know all the notes that are going to come out for you. It's okay for you. Going. Keep going. You gonna finish it up? And one other thing that I thought about while we're talking, or while we were playing, I was talking about the timbre of my instruments, but then noticing noticing not the timbre of the song, but the song, the instruments, acoustic instruments, the chords that are being used. This is a melancholy too sad song, and again, it sounds very. When I say folk, it's actually it's not, you know, everybody sing, that kind of folk. It's sort of like a, you know, I don't know. But the point is, it sounds sincere. We've said, I want you to think about it. When you're playing this song, we're going to get down and boogie, you know what I'm saying? When you're hearing a song, the song is saying something, not the words, but the music is saying something. So you want to try to reflect that. You can push past that. You can do more than that, but you can't ignore that, because then it's like I said earlier, I said my harmonica is going to play the Stars and Stripes forever. Well, it's not going to play Ravel's Le Tombeau de Couperon. Whether I can play it or not on the harmonica, it's still not going to sound right. So in the same way, the music itself is saying something, presenting something. I'm sad, I'm happy, I'm ecstatic, I'm getting down, and I'm serious. You have to reflect a lot of that, or no matter what you do, it'll sound wrong. It's not just the notes. Okay, we're going to go to our next song. And our next song is this. That song was named Grind's Coffee House Grew. And this is called Mark's Boss, which is, as we've said before, is a moral truth as well as that's not right. Okay, it's a moral truth. There we go. And now this song, I've said, or if you've been around me, that many songs are and again, somebody could tell me if you could see this. Is this worth putting up? But if you, hey man, song's in the key, playing the key. Well, this song goes through 4 keys, and I can't help it. It's just, as we get into not complicated hard songs, just more interesting songs. And I want to show you what I would do, and I'm going to decide what to do here real quick. But what I printed this out because I can look at the chords and say, hey, let's do that bigger. I can look at the chords and I can say, hey, these this is this key and this is this key, but I might forget. So I'll write them in, and professional musicians write all over their music, and orchestras employ people who their job is to erase marks off of music. So seriously. So I just want you to see, I have marked in the keys, and by the time I played it a little bit, I don't need that, but right at the beginning, I do need that. So anyway, so I want you to see this. Let me get this picture up here so I can describe it. Now get ready, because I'm going over the song. So this is for C instruments. I guess a B flat, not a guess, a B flat instrument is going to raise the pitch of this a whole step. So everything I say, so I'm going to say it for C. But so this starts off in G major scale. You have links for this chart. And then right here, it goes to the key of F. Now, why? It's the 2-5-1 progression. I don't think I can take time. You could email me, or you could take lessons with me. I don't really know how to get past some of the things that are a little more, they're not deeply complicated, but some of them are. But some of the things that are a little more complicated take a little time, and I don't want everybody to just watch me talk, right? So we want to improvise. But just take my word for it. These 2 measures are G. These 2 measures are F, and you just jump down to F. I'm going to play the guitar. So if I play on the 3rd fret, in the G, I'm going to move down 2 frets and go, and play the same thing. And it'll come out fine. And here's second line, it goes back to G. And if you're a B flat instrument, you're bumping everything up. If you're an E flat instrument, you need to tell me, so I'm going to ignore you and know that you're here or not. And then here it goes to C. So look, first 2 measures is G. This is F, 2 measures. Next line, back to G. Here the key is C. Now it stays in C. So this is actually 4 measures of C. Then it's to B flat. And then the last line's all in G. So let me go over this one more time. 2 measures of G, I would write it in. 2 measures of F at the end of the first line, 2 measures of G again on the second line, 2 measures of C. Then we stay in C for 2 more measures. Then we're in B flat for 2 measures. Then there's G for the rest of the line. Let's listen to it. It's a cool sound, I think. I like it a lot. So I'm going to point right here on my little diagram. Is it working? Yeah, there it is. G. This is the mellow day. There's the F. F goes back to G. Then it goes to C. Then it goes to stays in C. Got to C. Here's B flat. Yeah. Then it goes back to G for the rest of the line. Remember, we're trying to absorb these sounds. Okay, now I'm going to take a second. I am playing the classical guitar for this, if I don't destroy it first. Well, it's a little too much. I want you to see real quick, you guitar players. I'm going to call out the chords here real quick. Let's look at this picture. Yeah. Okay, so I want you to see, I'm going to play the straight up scales. I'm going to tell you the scales. I want you to see guitar players, bass players. I could play the exact same thing. So here it goes. I mean, exactly what I said, the scale. And that goes for you. You're not a guitar player. You know, you're playing the flute. Then you play the G scale, play the F scale, literally play the scale. And I want you to hear how it sounds. I know I sound like I'm God, but I'm not. Oh, stop. I want you to be able to. Here's G. I'm going to play the G scale. I don't hear nothing. F, G, C, sorry, B flat, G. Just want you to see, literally, it is that scale. Hi, glad you can make it. All right, sorry. Doesn't take much to amuse me. Okay, so here we go. I'm gonna start, and let's see. I don't think the sound's quite loud enough. I think I need more the background. But here we are. I'll start just to get us started. Your turn. Here's the F. Back to G. C scale. Bump it up if you're in B flat. Whole step. This will be C, D for a B flat instrument. B flat. Back to G. My turn. Back to G, you can hear it, back home. Here's the turnaround, and if it's pointing back to the top, I'll go, that's right. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Lovely music. And for sweet things. Things that are like, whoa. We're in the key of C now. C, C. Comes B flat, B flat. Here, here, go back home to G now. G. Okay, I'm gonna do long notes. Anybody can do that. Back to G. There's the turnaround. Meaning going back to the top. Back to G. Keep going. Still your turn? And my turn? Music is too cool. Gotta get in there and play. Can't wait around. Hey, yeah. play something? Let me just make that comment. Here we are on the end. I've said this before. We're in a key. We're in the key of G. If you're in a B flat instrument, in the key of A. So remember now that the 1, the 3, and the 5 are notes that are in the chord. The guy's going the last chord. Now, it is, let me turn the God sound off. It is a major 7. So 1, 3, 5, 7. The 7 happens to be in this particular song, happens to have the 7 in. In a normal, regular song, most songs, 1, 3, 5. And then we have, so the notes of a scale, right? There's 7 notes in the scale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 1, 3, and 5 are very solid notes. If you want to end on a note that sounds very solid, here I'm going to end on the B, which is one of the, I'm going to just, here man, play my song, man. I want to end it. I want to sound very solid. Sorry. Sorry, went a little too far. Here comes, I'm going to play a B. So what you see is 1 or the 3 or the 5, I'm going to play a B. It sounds like, I go. Sounds like, yeah, that was one of the notes, you know. Now, if I wanted to sound a little less usual, a little unusual, then I could use the, this thing's not moving there. Let's move a bit for me. So think of the numbers, 1, 3, 5, and what's left? 2, 4, 6, and 7. So 7, 6, and 2, probably 7, 6, and 2, probably, or 7, 2, and 6 are less usual sounds. So in the key of G, that would be an A, that would be an E, and there would be an F sharp. So I'm going to end right now with an F sharp, and we'll hear how that sounds. It'll sound very, they're in the chord. This is my last note. I'm ending my song. Oh, yeah. Oh, my gosh. Sorry. I'm going to play F sharp. I'm going to go. Let's just try that with the 2. I'm going to try the 2. It should be an A, right? G, A. We'll play with an A. Here comes the A. I meant to. Okay. So the 2 and the 5. Just ignore that. So the 2, the 6, and the 7. So the 1, 3, 5 would be very solid. 2, 6, and 7 would be interesting without being offensive. The 4 usually is not going to be something we can sit on. We usually would have to, I'm going to play the 4, which would be a C, right? G, A, B, C. Oops. Now, a lot of jazz guys will play a sharp 2. And somebody who's going to be snarky, that's Lydian mode, man. Yes, it is. But we could also, since we didn't use it in the rest of the scale, we could use it as a sharp 4. So anyway, point is, end of your song, or a long place in a song, and you're hitting chord for a length of time that we've kind of noticed stuff. If you want to sound solid in your solo, solid, not better. I'm trying to use words that don't sound good or better. Good or better. The point is, 1, 3, 5 is very solid. 2, 6, and 7 are less usual, sound a little more interesting, but not better. They just don't sound quite as. And then the 4 is usually a note. We would go like here's the. Get off of it, not in a hurry, like we're scared, but just like it doesn't sound nearly consonant enough. Okay, so that was our to play and sing. No, it's not. That's coming up right now. But that was our improv workshop. And so if you got any questions, we're coming to the question and answer thing. My gosh, you need to send me questions. I want to see 7,000 questions right there right now. But anyway, so we improved, and we had one song that was a lot of chord changes. Actually, I think there were 6 different chords in that song. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Well, there's 10, and the last thing was 10, but there's 6 chords in the other one, but they were all in the same key. So we had a song that was all in the same key, even though it had multiple chords. All the notes of the chords were used in the scale. And then this song we just finished, it went through 4 different keys. And if you count going back to another key that was already there, it had key changes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 key changes. So, and this, I want you to notice it didn't seem unusual or aggressive. It's just, a lot more work in terms of your soloing. However, all you just have to do is identify the key, learn how to identify the key. And this is not a teaching as much as wants to play, but the 2-5-1 progression, that is the minor 2 and a dominant 5. So when we hit this, for example, in any key, we hit a C minor in the jazz-ish style, we have a C minor, we are usually that's usually frequently, I guess you'd say, followed by an F, C minor, followed by an F7, F9, and those, when you play those two chords, that is 6 notes of the B flat scale in those two chords. So hey, you play the B flat scale and it sounds correct. So anyway, that's the idea. Okay, now we're to play and sing our Q&A, and I'm wanting several thousand questions here. Just please, so many I can't read them all. It's just so quick. So many. Gosh, that's so funny. So okay, so I'm looking at my questions. All right. Well, here's the. Yeah, look at that. That's really the same thing. I hear chord. Okay, here it is. I can hear chord changes and find notes that fit for ad-libbing, but only basic from the major scale. Okay, how do I improve from that? Well, there's a whole bunch of. I want you to, for one thing, I believe everybody can play a wonderful solo. Really, from the day they learn, 3 notes or something. And what everybody has to learn to do, I have to learn to do, is have to learn to adjust what I can play, take what I can play and dumb it down, so to speak, to where it sounds good for the song. So instead of, I like on the harmonica, I was saying I can't play it that well. So I might hear my hand, but since I can't play that, I might go, dumb it down or simplify it until it's like, I can play that with some authority. I can play that with some intention, and you can, and I can play a great solo on something I'm not that skilled at. A great solo, and then I don't know if you know this, but I'm telling you, everybody, the world's greatest player has got songs where they play very slowly, and that's a sign, just by the way, of a great composer, is that they don't feel I did say composer, that they don't feel compelled. Everything I play has got to be the butt kick, and this is the butt kick, and it's, the most aggressive, including, I'm totally talking about classical music as well as everything else. It's like, can that person write a beautiful song? Can they only write, and I don't know the answer to this. I was talking to somebody about this earlier, or just a couple of days ago. I was like, Fall Out Boy, which I love those songs, the 2 songs I know by them. But the point is, is that the only kind of song they can do? Is Up in Your Face, We're All Gonna Die songs? And that was always a challenge for metal. I think we talked about last week that every metal album has got, 8, or when they had albums, had 8. And then they have the 2 love songs that are played on the 12-string guitar. But that's good that they have the contrast, So anyway, one thing that we're starting with, the idea is that we need to play within our technical abilities. So I'm just, one thing that sounds really great, and it's not just jazz, it's on every style, and this happens to be a guitar, you may notice. But and the same thing, I'm not going to pick up a flute, but I guess I'll play. But the idea is I'm going for this note. So instead of hitting, I'll go. Sorry. I'm going to this note. So instead of hitting this, I'll go. Now, for some reason, starting below the note, sliding up to it, and then on the harmonica, just as another instrument, I'm going, so I go, well, I'm trying to do this right. This is why I don't play the harmonica. That's what I'm trying to get to. So if I was going to go ba-da, I might go ba-dee-da to add a little something to it. Now, there's different dimensions. Okay, so this is sort of a stylistic, I am cool with my instrument, I know what I can do. Another thing, now listen, how do I get beyond this? I'm telling you that everybody who's great doesn't play everything fast all the time. They do absolutely not do that. And some of them, I guess we shouldn't say I'm not going to say their names because I actually might be kind of dissing them a little bit. There's a few people who are known. I can think of two names, guitarists, kind of known for playing fast. And I'm thinking one, probably the most definitive fast player. And I find their music very boring because if you're going to play everything at 30-second notes constantly, then that's really no different than playing whole notes, is it? Just boring. So we want variety. So almost every great instrumentalist has got songs where they play slow and beautifully and emotionally. So at the moment I'm talking about what I would call a horizontal. So it's like without. I'm doing more interesting things, and I'm just talking about simple things like repeating a note. So. Okay, now all the composition I'm saying all the compositional techniques that you would do in writing a song is what you would do in improvising, and one of them is sequence, is playing the same thing on different starting notes. So that could be as simple as I'm trying to make it simple so it seems like accessible. You're like, oh, I can do that, Although it just means you can go. Now go to well, the ear hears that different notes were played, but the same rhythm was played, and so the ear goes, "Wow, that was pretty cool," But it doesn't exactly add it up, but that's exactly what's happening, and so in addition, that idea of sequence. So the same. This is a sequence. So as I play this, I'll go. So I went. Now so I did the same thing, went down, da da da, then start on the da da da. So I went down to repeatedly, and the ear again hears that as, whoa, what is this, what is this madness? What is this magic you're doing? Now, another angle that I did was playing, that's weird, what is that? Whoa. Okay. So another thing you heard me do, and I did that on both of the, so this is our key. And I'm talking about sound, da, 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 the G major scale. So what I started with was not this 7 note. I started with, well, so that note is not in the key. So what I added was a note that was not in the key. At this moment, I'm just thinking of it. I'm just not playing a note in the key. So I play a scale like this. I'm just throwing things in. And you don't need to think of it as a different mode at the moment. You just think of it. So let's hear what that would sound like over. It would sound unusual, right? And this is sort of personal, small things you can do to make it sound like. See? Sounds like. Maybe get the right note. What's happening is instead of because it's changing keys, the little things I would do to make it interesting. So another thing you could do, now I'm talking about on a different plane, what could you do? Well, I'm not being smart aleck. I mean, what you could do is you could practice for an hour to a day for 5 to 7 years or 10 years. And man, you'll be able to do so many different things. You'll be able to play. And I've talked a lot about, like, instead of this and so instead exactly double. Yeah. So I'm leaving out stuff like that, So we're saying, instead of getting better, how could you, what I'm answering the question is instead of getting better, how do you take what you could do right now and make that more interesting? So, and you got to do this, and you can't just go like, oh, I can do that. Well, of course, anybody can do that. But are you doing that? If you're not doing that, then your playing sounds kind of white bread, So, try to do something a little more interesting. Here's some more things to do. So we want to unify our solo by going, let's go back to that little country thing. Little country church on the edge of town. Do 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 do. So this song's all in the key of C. Yeah. So my point is, I only got one scale. This scale. So, where's my list? So there was articulations that. So I might go. So I might change. My instead of going. Instead I might slide. And if I was on a flute, I might slur, or I might, I'm just using this as a tool. So I'm changing articulations. Chromaticism. This is a small idea of the chromaticism, but playing notes that are out of the key. There's 7 notes that are in the key, and 5 notes that are not in the key. There's only 12 notes, right? So if I play a note that's not in the key, let's see, I got this PSC right. Sorry. I'm trying to hit. I'm trying to add notes that are not in the key. Now, I've said before, all of these things, it's magician in that what I'm saying is that we're doing stuff, we're adding stuff, making things interesting, and when people figure out the trick, then it's not a illusion anymore. So when you do the same things too many times, and then people go, oh, I know what you're doing. And so everything we're doing it a little. You practice it a lot, but in a solo, you do it a little. And then it's like, wow, that was exciting. So tapping is exciting, but not if every single thing you do is constantly tapping. You just tap a stick, and then you can just tap all you want. But all I'm saying is we're doing the cool things. We're doing them a little bit enough, and we're doing stuff we're kind of measuring. So just my last example. Let's go back to that jazz song. I gave the example. Repeating notes, right? So that sounds great. I go, yeah, come on, baby. Give me that. So I'm going. Sounds great. I want to change. See, it works on every chord. I want to go. But I'm saying, so I can repeat that note. Now listen to me. It don't do no good for me to give you the answers if you ain't going to use them. This is the answer. So up short from going practice for 15 hours a week for a year. So short for that. So here's an idea. So I'm repeating a note, and it sounds really cool because you're kind of expecting me to move. There's a fuse going up. Like, how long is he going to repeat that note? The listener is listening, and he's saying, that's pretty cool. And at some point, he's going to say, that guy can only play one note, or he don't know but one note. And so you, as a musician, are saying to yourself, okay, I'm going to do this. How long am I going to do it? And then I got to get off of. That's what I'm saying about the things that we would do that are interesting. They're not gimmicks. They're exciting parts of music, but we can do them a bit and see how they do. Okay, the last question is, and there's many more. It's a whole lifetime of study, right? What can you do to improve? So, okay, now here's the last question. Here's the last question. That's right. That's it. Okay, what is the least used sentence in the English language? The least used, the sentence that's used the least in English. What is it? It is. Isn't that our music teacher's Porsche? That's the least used sentence, hardly ever used in the English language. Isn't that our music teacher's Porsche? Okay, so my name is Mark Black again. This was the to play and sing portion where you're supposed to ask all your questions of music and I answer them. And so if you got more questions, when this is over, send me an email at mark@dallasmusiclessons and I'll answer your questions. And if you're interested in lessons, go to www.dallasmusiclessons.com and there's information there about lessons and you can read and see what you think. And so as always, I want you to subscribe. I want you to hit notifications. I want you to send me money. I want you to, what else do? You subscribe, you hit notifications anyway. And so I hope you ad-libbed. I hope you had a good time. I had a great time. And what I want you to do